You got to look at that. Chicago needs to be over there with Chicago Bulls, but it's not going to work. Chicago spends $1 million on a practice facility, right? They still got to go play in an arena. The arena you're playing in is not going to bring money back, okay, to the Chicago Sky. They're paying for that. They got to pay for the parking help. And this is where it gets a little tricky. And I was talking to everybody about the CBA, and I said, guys, look, here's the deal. You're making $1 million, right? Or 800 or 500,000, whatever it is. But you're affecting people's lives because those are people who work those stadiums, right? They work the stadium. Some people work in 2 and 3 stadiums so they can pay their mortgage, right? If there's no games there, that's not a good thing, right? But you got to look at that and say, okay, here are my small market teams, Washington Mystics. Either they're going to get in with the Washington Wizards or there's no way you can survive in the WNBA. You're going to be losing money. And folks, I'll tell you this, you don't want to go out and build a stadium for $1 billion unless you're really good at it and you're in the event business because it's going to cost you money. Now, let's lead me to something here because the WNBA has investors. Folks, the WNBA has investors. The WNBA does not need any investors. WNBA needs owners, okay? And this is where the puzzle. The valuation for $1 billion for the league, okay? Kathy Engelberg came in and sold 16% of that, right? But she didn't sell it for the full value of the $160 million of the valuation of $1 billion. She sold that for $75 million. Okay, that's a problem. That's a major problem because now what you have investors. They're not owners. They're not contributing. They made a $75 million investment and every bit of profit on that 16% is coming back to them. They bought it below the market cap, right? They bought it, should have been 160 for the 16%. They bought it for $75 million. Now, here's the deal. This is like the ABA with the Indiana Pacers. And the ABA had a similar problem, okay, because they had those guys stick around who said, we don't want to take a buyout from you, okay, in the ABA. We want to just give us a percentage of the TV contract into perpetuity. Well, there's no TV at the time for the Indiana Pacers, who are there now. So what are they thinking? Hey, why not? Go for it. Well, television escalates, subscriptions. I mean, you get into new markets, DirecTV, Xfinity, Comcast, all this stuff happens. Folks, David Stern, these guys were getting so much money. David Stern had to go in there and do a buyout, okay, of that contract with the ABA guys because they were getting a percentage of all 4 ABA teams, and it was coming up a lot of money. I think the buyout was $500, $600, $700 million. Where am I going with that? You got 16% of this league are investors. You're investors, folks. 16%. Now, let me break that down here for you in just a second. I want you to clearly understand what I'm saying. The WNBA is expanding. They don't need investors. They need owners. They need owners who are there. The only thing the investors are doing, they're taking 16% of the profit that should be reinvested in the infrastructure. Investors are not there to do that. I gave you $75 million for something that was worth $160 million, and now want to get paid, right? They need to get bought out. If you don't buy them out, then you've got a 16% share. The other 84% is working for these investors who have to do absolutely nothing in this league. And folks, that's going to be bad because now people are going into debt. The investors don't have to go into debt. They're locked in. Whatever this league does for that $75 million gamble, we're going to make like $1 billion. Adam Silver really should go back to those investors and buy them out and give them their full share. They're doubling their money. You should have paid 160, so you didn't lose money. You paid 75. We're talking about $160 million as a buyout. If you want to do that, then you got something. Unrivaled. What's really going on? Unrivaled's not a permanent job anymore, folks. That's going to be the player full-time job. That's going to be the two leagues you can bounce through, because at the end of the day, you ain't coming back to the WNBA. If you don't make it here by the game time of the start of the season training camp, you ain't coming here. Okay, that's Adam Silver flexing the muscle and saying, look, this is how we do things. We're not interested in any other league. We're not interested in you moonlighting, right? It used to be called moonlighting, where you got a day job, but you also working a night job. It is what it is. Either you're with us or you're against us. And really, with all the commotion and all the frustration and all the